Right, this is a quick update on the garden makeover. Um, it's not going to be the part 3 that people were probably expecting because the weather's been absolutely the weather's been absolutely lousy and I've got sod all done. So I'm going to throw in a few clips of what I have done and explain some of the problems I've had apart from the weather. So enjoy. Right, so I decided to take a break from the groundworks and lean-to build in order to get a quick coat of paint on our fence, and I needed to do that before the winter set in because the weather over the winter time tends to be really wet, and there was a lot of rain due, so I thought I'd better step away from what I was doing and get this done. And the fence paint we're using is Ron Seal's Fence Life Plus. We went for a cornflower blue, and as you can see it's slightly darker than the blue we had originally, but the main reason we went for this one is the price. For 5 litres we managed to get it for £9.99, which is a really good deal because a lot of the other makes like Cuprinol fence paint are twice the price for 2.5 litres. Now I don't mind painting, but I can't stand painting fences because it's one of those tedious jobs that just seems to take forever, especially when you're doing it by brush. Now, it would have been a lot easier and faster if I had one of these electric paint sprayers, but I don't have one of them. I can't afford to buy one at the moment, so I had to resort to the good old-fashioned brush. So I think 9 panels was what I ended up having to paint, and that runs down this side of our garden and across the bottom end. So as you can imagine, that took quite a long time just to get one coat applied. So as you can see, the whole fence has now been given one coat of cornflower blue. So now it's time to move on to the decking at the bottom of our garden. So before I could do that, I got the pressure washer out and gave it a good pressure wash just to get all the gunk out from in between the boards, etc. And then I could start applying a fresh coat of that, ready for the winter. And the paint we're using is Cuprinol anti-slip decking stain, and we've gone for a black ash. Now, if anyone's in the market for a good quality decking stain, then I can't recommend this stuff enough. I've used a lot of decking paint and stains over the years, and a lot of them come off when you walk on it, and over time it can kind of weather quite badly, and as soon as you wash the area in order to apply another stain, most of the paint normally comes off. But this one, even though I've washed it off with the pressure washer, the paint just doesn't move. So it holds up really well underfoot and lasts really well, and the anti-slip, even in the wet, the decking isn't slippery. So if you're after a good quality paint, I think we only paid £15 for 2.5 litres, so it's definitely worth purchasing it, and we can normally paint the deck twice with one tin. So now that the fence and decking had been given a coat of paint in preparation for the winter, I could now turn my attention back to the house end of the garden and start compacting the area where the lean-to is going to go. And as you can see, I've hosed the area down, and that helps with binding the hardcore together and also keeping the dust down. Now, this compactor did come with a few issues right off the bat. When he got it out of the van and was showing me how to use it, the throttle adjustment broke on it. So in order to get it working so I could actually compact the gravel, he actually had to cable tie the throttle open, which meant as soon as you started it up, off it went. And also, in order to turn it off, you kind of had to stop it from careering across the garden and hit the off switch all at the same time, which wasn't exactly the easiest thing to do. So that made the compacting a little bit more difficult than I had anticipated, but it did do a really good job of compacting the Type 1 hardcore down in preparation for the next lot. So once the first lot was compacted down, it was time for a second delivery of hardcore and a load more trips with the wheelbarrow to get it from the front of the house into the back garden. So after barrowing another 2 big bulk bags of Type 1 MOT from the front of the house to the back garden and spreading that out, it was time to start compacting that down. And this was where the compactor decided it weren't going to play ball anymore and threw a belt. I was probably less than 2 minutes into compacting the second lot of hardcore, and it just coughed, spluttered and chucked out a load of shredded rubber belt. So that was as much as I could do. So that compactor's now been collected, and I'm probably not going to be able to use that because they're really busy, so I'm going to have to get one from elsewhere and finish compacting the entire area before I can then start building the lean-to. So that is where that's up to at the moment. So as you can see, the garden itself, the whole area has been leveled out as best as I can get it. It is still a bit low in places, but once it's compacted it should be okay for now. So that's going to have to wait until I can get a compactor. And if you look in my workshop, it is filled up with roofing sheets, roofing trims. I've got 4x4 fence posts, I've got a load of 6x2 timber and loads of different boxes of screws and hangers and all that sort of stuff ready to build the lean-to. So I can't even get in there. So just to give you a quick rundown of what plans I've got. Obviously, because the compactor that I borrowed has broken down, that's been collected, and unfortunately I'm not going to be able to use that, so I'm going to have to hire one. But I don't want to hire one in the torrential rain. I'm sure you can probably still do it if it's pissing down with rain, but I don't particularly want to be out there getting soaking wet, so I'm going to wait for a reasonably dry day. I don't mind a bit of drizzle because I need to dampen the area down, because that helps to keep the dust down and compact the MOT Type 1. So that's the first thing I need to do, because obviously at the moment it wouldn't be safe to be climbing up on ladders building lean-tos when the gravel isn't compacted, because I'd probably end up breaking my neck. So don't fancy doing that. So that's the first thing I need to do. Second thing I need to do before I can start actually building the lean-to is I need to paint all the woodwork, because that's going to be a lot easier to paint before I start building it than trying to paint it once it's all up. So I need a dry day to do that. I can't do it in the workshop because, as you've seen, there's a lot of it. Most of it is like 3 meter lengths, and my workshop is only small, and there just isn't the room to be able to paint and dry off all the timber. So I need at least a day of reasonable weather in order to do that. But that also means that in the meantime, I'm unable to make any other videos for the channel because my workshop's tiny, and as you can see, it's full up with all this stuff. So until I can kind of crack on with that, I'm kind of a bit screwed as to making any videos. So that was the main idea, or main reason for the quick update, just to let you know that I'm alive and well still. I still intend making the videos, but at the moment it's all a little bit up in the air because of the great British weather. I mean, we've had nothing but rain for like the last week, so bear with me. The videos will be continuing. Part 3 of the garden makeover will be up as and when I've filmed it, so be patient, and until then, take it easy, stay safe, and you'll see me soon. Cheers.